I think on the positive side, it's great to see one of only 8 recognised investment exchanges entering the spot FX market, so that's good. Slightly surprised that they decided to enter it with a platform that has a predominance of last look liquidity. I find that very odd actually when you look at an RIE which is responsible for market structure. But certainly I don't think they'll be the last exchange to enter that market. Certainly I've spoken to most exchanges probably in the room and around the globe. So FX is certainly up there on the horizon.
Do you think that actually there's been a bit of a hiatus in the process because of what's been going on in the public eye? You know, these guys having reputation, is this the time to be splashing in FX?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have English terminology lost their bottle because of the fines, because of the S&P, but yeah, they've all been looking at FX for the last 2-3 years. Ultimately, just look at the size of the market. You know, I met a retiring chief executive of an exchange, and ultimately it's a $5 trillion a day market. Someone's going to make a $500 million bet at some stage. Remember, it's 10 times. Something we forget. It's 10 times the size of the fixed income market and 30 times the size of all the equity exchange markets. So there's going to be big bets played, but maybe not this year. I think it's amazing, this news. I sat here actually 2 years ago when one of the venues said, hey, we've cut our last look from 400 million to 200. So today they cut it to 100. Big deal. Frankly, you can cancel a place order in 300 microseconds. And guess what? Full rates of 85%. Yeah, that's good. You only miss 1 or 2 trades out of 10. So, I mean, I'm actually amazed in 2015. Was keep debating it, and this is seen as something progressive.
But are we still debating it because the issue hasn't been solved adequately?
I think it has been solved. I think we solved it. I don't know if any of these reviews actually end up in paragraphs. I think the market, the industry has to do it themselves. No regulator, nobody has ever improved our market. It's up to us to own it, to bring greater transparency to the marketplace, to give confidence and trust back to the customer. It's been lost. It's certainly been lost. Every headline you read, we've lost it. We can get it back. People want to know the true cost of execution.
So what role then do the providers such as yourself play in rebuilding that trust? Because obviously the actual trust breakdown was, we have to acknowledge between the bank and the customer. You guys sit in the middle of it, but what role do you play in helping rebuild that trust?
Well, I had a good chat yesterday. I heard a comment in the last panel about TCA. So let's look at it, right? Let's look at the true cost of trade for a customer. We can prove it day in, day out. We have a public limit order book. It's there. If you ever want to see the true cost of trading, compare the fill you get on another venue with what happened on the LMAX Exchange. So, and I think it's pretty clear that, and customers have told us that it's worth, 10, 20, 30 bucks a million for the consistency of execution they go on firm liquidity. And look, to be fair to one of my competitors at the last panel, now they're saying the customer can choose. Great. I'm all for that. If the customer chooses, then they can choose that firm liquidity pool and our firm liquidity pool, and let the best man win.
So is then part of this rebuilding the trust actually being more transparent about the rules on the platform? Do we actually sort of need industry-wide to have every venue with a more transparent rule book?
I think it should be. I mean, we've had, a public rule book. Just go on Google, and a rule book that applies to all. Not whether you're this size or that size, or whether you do 250 million a day or just 50 million a day. The same rules for all. So, and let's also make sure the customer understands the rule. We speak to customers who, until 6 months ago, had never heard of last look. Guess what, guys? You've been reported for decades. Differentiated, no, but it empowers the end user and it empowers the venue and the business. So, put simply, I think everyone comes down to the cost of trading. Everyone's going to look at the cost of trading. If you have legacy technology, the cost of trading is going to be more expensive. If you have legacy market data, if you have market data snapshots in 50 milliseconds or 100 milliseconds, that costs you money, right? You have to stream market data, and that actually affects the cost of trading. So we can operate a very lean business model because we have one technology, we build it all ourselves. So, you know, with 120 guys, I can process 100 million orders a day. You can cancel and replace, and now sub 100 microseconds. I can do 7 million real-time risk calculations a second. So this nonsense about 100 millis last look required for pre-credit risk is just, as I said, nonsense, because you can do it in microseconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 3-year plan. Look, I actually did an MBO. We bought the company and we lost £800,000 a month. So we backed ourselves then, we back ourselves now. So that was the fulfillment of the 3-year plan. The next 3-year plan is to be significant in the marketplace.
That 2.4 million back.
Correct. And you know, the 5-year plan is to, is to win. And we're only in this business to win. So we want to be the number one FX venue in the street. That's our next main target. And this was just a tick in the box, our proof of concept. You can always do with more money, but we bootstrap well. I have a duty to all stakeholders, right? So I have to return some value to all those stakeholders, including my shareholders. But number one by revenue, number one by volumes. We'll take either, but I think the latter is how the marketplace looks at it. That's really our target. Anywhere in between, I want to be sitting here for once when you talk about primary venues, you talk about the top 3 and actually LMAX Exchange rolls off your tongue, rather than some of the, as I said, more legacy competitors.
So it's a question of actually a perception of the value as well, backed up by hard data, as in, guys, we are now doing X number of yards per single account.
Sure. I mean, you're still going to say, well, XYZ does 10 times your volumes, fair enough, and I can't dismiss that. No. So we need to get up that ranking.
Are you happy with the sort of the growth trend in your volumes, or would you, in all honesty, would you say actually, I think we're maybe slightly behind the curve?
No, I think if you look, I'm always disappointed because I'm always striving to do better. But we outperformed in terms of percentage growth. We outperformed everyone else on the street last year. This year, again, I'm slightly disappointed post SMB, but we're up 40% year on year, which is our slowest year of growth. But we'll be up, we'll be ahead. But we should always do better.
You now see yourself moving from a 3-year plan to a 5-year plan?
Yeah, 3 to 5 years. I've always got, I've got 3-hour, 3-day plans as well. But we need to look at the next. We need to look further ahead. I'm 40 now. It is capital markets. You can't change the plan in 6 months. But we'll certainly try in that time horizon.
David, thank you very much.
Thanks,